Hey everybody, it's the 13th Wolfman. You know what today is? Today is day 20 of the 31 days of horror. Day 20, that's right. We are 2/3 of the way through the month. Man, I know, I get kind of melancholy around this time because it's not too far from the month being over and that kind of sucks. You know, but it is what it is. What can I say? So, before we get started, like, subscribe, share, and comment. I always want to hear I always want to know what you have to say when it comes to any of the movies that I watch, you know, or talk about, or whatever. You know, did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you see it? Did you not see it? If you got a favorite part in the movie, you know, just tell me. There are other people doing this. Double Shot J, Mood 616, Retro Horror, Random Horror, Have Cheetah Will View, I Am the Ice Lord, Who Else? King Gore, Echo, Jennifer Toshi, a lot. Tony Has 9 Fingers. I know he's doing it, but he's doing it over on TikTok, I think he said he was, you know. So if you just want to see Tony Has 9 Fingers twerking, you know, go over there and check that out. And of course the one and only MSJ, Brother Max. That's right. So you got to check his stuff out. Yesterday we talked about suspense and we talked about tension and how in the movie A Quiet Place, I mean, to me, A Quiet Place feels more like a suspense movie than a horror movie. But in A Quiet Place, it was just all there. It was just like nerve-riddling, you know, waiting for something to happen. There's so much silence. You're not sure what's going to happen. You know, you're on the edge of your seat. You know, waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it does in that movie. So today we have more suspense, more tension, and more dialogue. Because today we're talking about A Quiet Place 2. A Quiet Place 2 does have suspense and it does have tension, but it has more dialogue, which kind of subverts a lot of the tension. Yeah, so the cool thing about this is that you get John Krasinski in it at the very beginning. We get to see how day one happened and what happened on that day. Again, this is written and directed by him, with his wife, Emily Blunt, in it. So we get to see day one. And thank God it wasn't just 100% prequel, you know. Because I wanted to see what was going to happen next after watching A Quiet Place. After we see what happened with day one, it picks up right where A Quiet Place left off. In the basement, Emily Blunt with the shotgun, holding it. Their son holding the baby. And the daughter, you know, figuring out how to annoy these creatures from another world. You know. So she figured it out, and you know the feedback. And as they're trying to figure out what their next move is, they hear a song. Bobby Darin's By the Sea. I could sing it for you, but I'll just save you from all that. And so she's like, hey, just a second. If the little microphone hooked up to the PA system back at the farmhouse screwed with one, maybe we can get to this radio station and we could screw with most of them. And that's really so this movie goes from being suspense to being an adventure film. And they meet up with the guy before she does any of this. They meet up with the guy that they knew in town. You know, their boys played Little League together. They've known each other. You know, John Krasinski's character and this character have known each other basically their entire lives. It's small town knowing one another. And he is really bitter about what's happened to his family and his wife, and and everything, and they find him at a steel company, and they're using the furnaces to hide from the creatures and echo this, not echo, but subdue the sound, to mute the sound. And the girl, this is when the girl hears by the sea, and she sets out on her own. She's like, that's it. I can do this by myself. I can go out. I could find the radio station. She figures out what radio station it's coming from. It's her brother that hears the song, but she figures out what radio station it's coming from. She's like, oh, they're on an island, so I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go somewhere. I'm gonna get a boat. I'm gonna go to the island. We're gonna crank it up, and we're gonna throw the hearing aid sound out to the world and screw with the creatures. And so much happens in this movie. There's a lot of really good stuff going on, and I really, really love this movie. But the thing is John Krasinski loves to end these movies without a conclusion. So the last one, the first movie, ends with Emily Blunt holding a shotgun, and it's like, she's like, click, click, and she's just like that. And you're like, okay, what's next? So now you gotta wait for the movie to come out. The next movie to come out. It comes out, and at the end of this movie, they do another what's next ending, a cliffhanger. I mean, it really is a cliffhanger. And John Krasinski, again, digging into the tropes of the 1930s and 40s, back when they had serials. And when I say serials, I mean like a series, but you'd have to go to the theater to watch the series. Every week they'd release a new chapter. Well, at the end of this one, it doesn't conclude. So you're like, oh, well, now I need to wait for chapter 3. And I'm praying that they're going to do a chapter 3 and do a conclusion. Because, I mean, we went from so this is how I'm visualizing it. We went from small town farm, right, taking care of ourselves, to this island where we're taking care of like a city. And I'm guessing that the next one, which would be the conclusion, would be the nation or the world, one of the two. And yeah, so I'm just waiting for that. We have a lot of stuff going on. The reason that it's not getting made, or why it's not being written, or whatever, but I'm just waiting for this to happen so I can see the conclusion. Or maybe that was the conclusion. Maybe we're just kind of like stuck there going, okay, well, we kind of know what's going to happen now. I hope not. As always, that's how I feel. I love this movie. Tell me what you think of it. We got suspense. We have tension. This time we have a lot more dialogue, and we have a cliffhanger. Man, again, digging into the tropes of the ancient filmmakers. What can you say? I am the 13th Wolfman. I'm on the prowl.